Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Rachel Haugbrut, the Director of Flute Sales for Schmidt Music, and today I'm going to show you what's in my gig bag. So the first thing out is my flute. So I have a really nice Wirkkala leather flute case cover around my Brannon. And I have a Wirkkala polishing cloth. It's so soft and it really gets those stubborn oils off nicely. So this is my favorite. It's also black, so it can go with you on stage, which is awesome. I also have my gem silk flute swab here. So I prefer silk. I think it wicks away the moisture just a little bit better for me personally, but we all have to have our own choices in that, but in general, silk works really well. I've also got a wooden cleaning rod. Wood is going to be a little bit better for the instrument overall just because we don't really want that metal to hit against other metal. So if you can, we'd recommend a wood cleaning rod for that. Next up is my Burkhart Piccolo. So this also comes in its own leather case cover. And I've got another wiping cloth in here, as well as my Piccolo wand. So this is something that I would recommend for any piccolo player. It's such an invaluable tool to have with you on stage during a performance. I keep it on my stand just because you never know when you're going to need to swab out. I love that you can actually swab up the whole instrument without having to take off the head joint and adjust that tuning placement. So this is probably my number one must-have item to have with me for any performance. Okay, then I have my Win-D-Fender. Covered in cat hair here, sorry. That's thanks to my lovely cats, Bart and Winston. Shout out to them. But right now, the Win-D-Fender, I think, is a really important thing to have, just as we're navigating the current challenges of our pandemic crisis. So I have this with me in case I need it for a lesson or something like that. But you'll see later, I also have face masks in here as well. Speaking of face masks, here's number one. I'm sure we'll find more. I have a lint roller. If you wear black as often as I do, you will know that this is an important thing to have with you. So it usually stays in my gig bag all the time, just because then I know I'm covered. All right, I have two separate K&M stands. One is for my flute and one is for my piccolo. So I tend to prefer to have two separate stands with me just because I never know how close I'm going to be to other people in a performance or in my teaching environment. So having two separate stands gives me the flexibility that I need to change my setup on the fly to accommodate those spatial challenges. There are also some times where I only need one or the other, so then I can choose one or the other without taking up too large of a footprint. Next up is a whole lot of sheet music. So this is actually set up for the day of teaching that I've got ahead. So I have the books that my students are working out of right now. So flute music by French composers, definitely a must-have for all of us. Same thing with flute music of the Baroque. I think there are just some incredible things to learn from this, and it's also a really great opportunity to talk about articulation and why you do or don't do certain things. I've got my copy of the Vivaldi Piccolo Concerto. I have Syrinx, again, a standard. I have an album of flute duets for that day when I get to finally play duets in person with someone else again. And then I've also got orchestral excerpts in here for flute and for piccolo. So these books kind of keep me in shape, they keep me on my toes, but they're also really great for students to be working out of right now as well. I've also got a full-sized black orchestra folder, and what I love about my Altieri gig bag is it actually fits the full orchestral folder inside, so you're not worrying about damaging the music at all. You know that it's safe and secure in that oversized folder, and that oversized folder is fitting without bending inside the bag. I have an umbrella because it's always good to be prepared for any kind of weather, so umbrella. And now we're going to transition to the front pocket. First things out are a couple of cell phones, one personal, one work phone. I like to make sure people can get in touch with me, but I also know that I've got a lot going on in my personal life, so I like to be able to reach out when I have a spare moment. I have all sorts of different chargers in this little case here, just because you never know what you're going to need. I have a little mirror that I got from Powell Flutes at NFA a couple years ago, so this is a really great teaching tool to have on hand. Just a good thing to be able to show someone what they're doing so they can look at their embouchure. I would recommend that everyone has a mirror of some sort in their teaching bag. I have an Oompha pen, so shout out to the Upper Midwest Flute Association, which is our local flute organization in the area, connects communities across the Upper Midwest. We love them here. I'm a member, the Flute Gallery is a member. They're a great, great resource for us as flutists. I have a mini sewing kit, just because you never know what's going to happen. It's just a really great thing to have on hand, especially heading to a performance or something like that, just in case you might have a button or something that comes loose. Here is face mask number 2. Again, really important to have one of these on hand just to be prepared for our current situation. I have a manicure set here, so just in case you find yourself with fingernails that are too long to play or something like that, you can do a quick little repair and you're good to go. I have a cell phone charger, and I have my lip balm, so I almost always have some sort of lip balm with me just because dry lips are not ideal when you're playing flute. I'm not one of those people who likes to have it on my lips when I play, but I definitely want to be able to apply it after I'm done playing. I have a hairbrush, that's fun. I've got a couple different sets of business cards. Always good to have business cards on hand just because you never know what's going to happen or which opportunities are going to present themselves. So important to be able to market yourself accordingly. I have a name tag. I've got a nail file. Again, this would go with my manicure set. I have clothespins in here. So if, like me, you're finding that you're teaching outside more just because it's a little safer to be where there's better air exchange, clothespins are a really important thing to have on hand to keep your music from flying off the stand. I have my planner, so for those of you who know me, you'll know that I am a very detail-oriented person, so I like to make sure that everything is written down in my planner. I have all of my lessons in there, any gigs would be in here as well, just making sure that I'm on top of everything as far as what I'm planning for any given day, so planner, really important. I have some alcohol prep pads. These are just a great thing to have on hand to quickly disinfect. These are 70% isopropyl, so those are actually what we're recommending, at least 70%, if not higher, for killing viruses right now. I have my tuner and my metronome. So the metronome I have is separate from the tuner just because I want to have flexibility to move it around my stand if I need to. This happens to be a Seiko, which I really love because it has a higher pitched beep than most other metronomes, so I can actually use this while I'm playing Piccolo and still hear it without having to put in headphones, which I love because then I can still keep my earplugs in for playing Piccolo. So again, really love this separate metronome. I have a bunch of pencils just because you want to be able to mark in your music and have that handy, so I always have at least a couple on hand. I've got a couple extra batteries to go in my tuner just because I don't want that to lose power, so batteries are a good thing. Okay, and last couple of things out of here are for Piccolo. So I have a tube of Cork grease, really great to have on hand just in case you have issues putting those joints together, especially when it's humid outside like it has been recently. We definitely want to be able to put those pieces together smoothly, so this really helps. And then I've also got my earplugs. So these are Eddie Modic. I love these because they're small, they can go in really easily, but I think the most important thing is that they do significantly reduce the number of decibels that I'm being exposed to. So especially with piccolo playing, definitely a must-have. Any kind of earplug is going to be better than none at all. So find one that works for you, and then just experiment. Most of them come with different sizes so that they actually fit the ear canal just a little bit better. So again, really important, protect your hearing. You only get one set of ears, so protect those. All right, so that's just a quick glimpse of what's in my gig bag. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be entered into the giveaway drawing. So let us know what's missing from your gig bag. Maybe you saw something here that you don't have and you'd really like. Let us know, mention it in the comments, and you could be entered to win that item valued up to $50. Thanks for watching. See you next time.